Let's get started. So, I'm just going to move this mat a little bit. We're just going to start on our backs. So we're just going to take a lie down, all the way down onto the floor. And we're just going to relax here for a moment. We're going to switch onto our breath while we're here. Taking some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just use those breaths as a moment to calm your mind. Switch on to your body. Just notice how you're feeling. Really fill those lungs. 2 more here, and then we'll add on a little bit of movement. So after that last one, all I'm going to get you to do is stay with that breath and just raise the arms up and overhead. A couple of things to think about here. We want to keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. And as we come up and over, I want you to focus on the ribs. So we don't want to let the arms come down and the ribs flare up. We want to just slowly control them just to the point where we can maintain that connection from the ribs to the hips. So I can feel I start to reach my point here, and I need to just draw in my belly a little bit. And I know if I go any further, I'm probably going to start to lift. So I just go that far and I come back down. It's about control and just about keeping that connection, like I say, in the torso. So slight draw in of the belly. And the more we engage that core, the further we might be able to take those arms. Let's just practice that a couple more times. Staying with that breath. Keep that connection. 2 more. Let's see if we can get those arms just a little touch further this time. All the way down. And 1 more. Remember, we're keeping those shoulders away from the ears. Back through. Arms can just come down by the side now. We're just going to keep the feet nice and wide as we roll the hips to one side. You can let this opposite hip lift a little bit. Just feel that release in the lower back. I will add in, I'll sprinkle in a couple of mobility ones throughout this today in case anyone's been sitting down all day at the home office like me. Get a few little aches and pains. 2 more each way. And 1 more each side. Beautiful. After that last one, I want you just to take yourself all the way over onto your side. So you're going to roll all the way over now. Your hands are going to come behind your head as if you're going to do like a little abdominal crunch. Elbows are in front of the face. We take a big breath in. And on our exhale, we draw that top arm all the way back as we twist through the body and open in the chest. And we come back through for another big inhale. And we exhale. Two more this side. And last one, let's see if we're going to really ease that arm all the way down this time. Beautiful. And then we just roll over onto the other side. So same position, just nice and relaxed here. We take a big breath, exhale, and we rotate. Through. Each time just seeing if you can increase that rotation a little more. Ease that arm through. Two more here. Nice. And then when we're finished this time, we're going to roll all the way over onto our hands and knees. A few rounds of cat-cow to really finish that warm-up through the spine. So hands want to be directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly under the hips. As we take a big breath in, we lift the back, dip the back, lift the tailbone and look forward. And then on the exhale, we arch through, draw the belly button up towards the spine. Think about that movement through each little vertebrae. And again, each time just seeing if we can increase that range a little more. Really exaggerate that curve and that dip. One more here. Beautiful. We're going to come into what I call a yoga push-up. I'm sure it's got a better name than that. We're going to stay on our hands and knees. You might want just a little bit more space. Give it a whirl and see, adjust as you need to. So we're basically going to scoop the head and the chest nice and low to the mat, and the elbows are going to come wide. So we're going to bring the head down, elbows come wide as we scoop through, and then we can come up to a cobra. If you don't feel like a cobra today, we can always just come up to our flat back position and then back through. So again, we're thinking about rolling through the spine. Head first, and then chest, and then up into whatever position here, maybe a little cobra, and each time we get a little bit bigger. And obviously we're warming up into the shoulders a little bit. Lovely. 3 more of these, just nice and slow. Keep that chest low. And last 2. And 1 more, and if we're going to come into that cobra, let's just hold it for a little bit. Keep those shoulders away from the ears again, just think nice and long in the spine. And then come up onto the hands and knees. You're just going to step 1 foot to meet the hands at the front of the mat. Let's warm up into those hips a little bit. Same side, you're going to drop elbow down to the floor, tap down if you can, and then you're going to reach up towards the sky. Nice big rotation here. Reaching down. You can think about drawing that knee wide as we reach down, and then all the way up. Three more here. Big open chest at the top. And 1 final time. While we're here on this side, you're just going to plant both hands back down on the mat and lift that back knee. You can walk that foot out again if you need to. We're just going to take a little circle around into that hip. Moving through the hip and the knee. And change direction. relax that one there. Just step that foot back and then onto the other side. Step that foot all the way to the front. Same elbow as knee. Drop the elbow down and reach all the way up to the sky. Maybe you can draw that knee wide, just increase that stretch in the hip. 3 more here. That's 2. And 1 more. And again, just planting both hands down. Position yourself as you need to. Lift that back knee and we'll circle it around. And change direction. And back down. Lovely. Feel free here to take a little child's pose, a little stretch off, anything that feels good. We're going to start kicking off with a little bit of strength work now, so switching onto the core a little bit. Hopefully you're a bit more mobile. So we're going to kick it off in our plank position, starting strong. So I like to just set my hands a little bit further forward. I tuck my toes behind and I bring myself up into my high plank. I have a lower option for this one that I'll give you next as well. From here, I'm going to scoop and draw my belly button up. I'm going to squeeze my bum. I'm then going to send my hips back. As my hips go back, notice how my knees are just hovering a couple of inches off the mat, and then I fire it forward. You draw back, draw my belly in, and I fire it forward. Slow and controlled on the way back, and forward. If that feels a bit much today, we're just going to come onto our hands and knees, tucking the toes underneath, draw that belly up, and you're just going to hover a couple of inches. So you're pretty much in a similar position, and then slowly control it down. Take a breath, exhale. Whichever position is right for you, just keep moving through there. I'll come back up to that jackrabbit. Send it back. Fire it forward. Let's stay here for another 30 seconds. Nice and steady. Draw that belly in. Scoop and hollow, squeeze the bum. That's halfway, team. Don't forget, just hover those knees a couple of inches, control it. 10 seconds. After that last one, come down onto the knees, staying with the core, but a little less intense. But now that that's switched on nicely, switched on nicely, we can use it a little bit more. Coming into our bird dog. So, set the hands under the shoulders again, knees under the hips. Opposite onto leg, scoop and draw the belly in as we extend. On our exhale, and we join. And then we alternate. Try not to kick things in your room. Very limited space in here. Try and keep those hips balanced as much as you can. Draw in. If you feel yourself, you've got like a little wobble from side to side, draw in a little more at the belly. We're going to stay here just a little while longer, and then we're going to go into a little pose on each side. Again, I've got a lower option should we need it. 15 seconds. Work with that breath. Draw the belly in. Think about zipping right up from that pelvic floor. Connecting the ribs to the hips, so there's a reason we did that. One more each side. So I'm going to stay with the bird dog, but a slight variation. I'll give you the harder option again, and then I'll work you down if you need the lower option. So we're going to extend opposite arm to leg, just like we just did. And then we're going to reach around, grab the foot. Set your balance there. So you've got opposite foot in opposite hand. Draw the belly in, and then we're going to lift into a dancer pose. Hold for a couple of beats, let go, and then we can alternate and try the other side. If that feels a bit much today, we can extend, draw elbow to knee, crunch in, really draw that belly button in, and extend away and down. Again, just stay with whatever option's best for you. If you're going for that dancer, let's just do a couple of efforts each side. Set that balance, scoop the belly, and lift. Use that core. It's all in the core. Take a little breather in between if you need to. If you're doing that little elbow to knee, just keep moving through. Keep it steady. Same principle applies. We're drawing the belly in. Even though it's a slightly different position of the spine, the belly's working in the same way. One more each side for that dancer. Keep moving through for that elbow to knee. Let's see if on this last one we can lift that leg just that little bit higher. Take a breath to reset. We lift. And down. Take a little shake off. Shake those arms off as well if they're getting a little bit tired. We're going to be on hands and knees for kind of one more, but it's two sides, so two more. So we're going to be working on the legs this time, so the abs get a little break. We're just going to kind of chop and change here a little bit. So we're going to be hands and knees again once more. I'm going to extend the leg out for me, and then that leg, you're going to give me a little turn out. So you're just going to turn about 45 degrees here. You'll have a slight hitch in that hip, but I want it to just be slight. I don't want you to lift super high. And then from there, all we're going to do is draw the belly button up and in, and I'm going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. So I don't want to see an arch in the back. I want you to keep it strong in the core. So we're isolating that glute. And what we'll get is normally when we lift from here, you get a bit more of the inner glute or mid glute. We're aiming for the outer area on this one. Try not to dump into that opposite hip too much. It is going to fatigue a little bit as well because it's taking a little bit of the weight. Push into the floor with those hands. Two more lifts here, and then we're going to add on a little bend of the knee. So next time we lift, we bend, we extend, and down. Nice and controlled. Scoop the belly. Use that breath. That tap down is just a little tap down. Nice work. 15 seconds here. After that 15 seconds, we're going to finish it off with some pulses. And then got a little surprise in between sides. Two more. Last one. When you extend on this last one, hold it out there, draw the belly in, pulse it up and down, 15 seconds. 10. Hang on. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Give those hips a little shake off. So in between sides, we're going to come to another plank. You are welcome. This time, we're going to be down on the elbows. Option to just hold the plank. We're going to do it for about 30 seconds. Option to do a little arm reach. I'll just quickly show you that while you have a quick little breather. So we're going to be down on the elbows. Step the feet wide if you need to. You can just hold it here, or you're going to slide one hand forward and then alternate. And the aim there is to not let those hips rock. If we want to do it from our half plank as well, we can do it on our knees. Just make sure that weight's forward, and the same principle applies, drawing the core in. Wherever we are, holding knees, full thing, let's do it. Here we go. Up on the elbows, step those feet wide. 30 seconds on. Squeeze the bum, draw the belly in. Slow and control. Try and keep those hips steady. Seconds. Nice team, last 10. Three, two, one. See, 30 seconds isn't that bad. Let's jump straight onto that other leg, and then we can come off those arms a little bit, give them a rest. So, same thing. We're going to extend that leg, slight turn out to about 45 degrees, draw that belly in as we lift and lower. Think fast up and then slow and controlled down. Up and then down. Again, just pushing into the floor a little bit with those hands. Drawing the belly up and in. Three more here, and we'll add on that bend. Make sure that knee and that toe still turned out. Last one here. And then we lift, bend, extend, and down. Nice work. Stay strong, keep pushing into those hands. 15 seconds. Remember, we're going to finish it off with those pulses. Two more after this one. We extend, and then we pulse it out. 15 seconds. Stay strong, draw the belly in, push it into the floor. 10 seconds. Three, two, one. Rest. Take a child's pose if you need it. Feet together, knees apart. Take a big reach forward. You can use this moment to have a little breather, a little drink if you need one. A few deep breaths. And then we're going to come all the way onto the front for just one little bit on the back. The glutes are going to work a little bit in this one as well. I might not be able to do the full thing, but I'll do my best. I'm limited on space. So we're going to start arms and legs extended. And we're going to come into our back extension. So we're going to start with the head down. We're going to take a big breath in. And then we're going to scoop our belly button off the mat. Squeeze the bum at the same time. From there, we're going to lift up into our back extension, legs lift as well. And we're going to sweep the arms wide. We sweep them back together and we come back down. I am very limited on space here. We lift, sweep it wide, draw it back in and down. So think we're squeezing the shoulder blades together, we're engaging those glutes. We're not lifting the chin, so we're not like this, we're nice and long in the spine. Keep moving through. Exhale to lift. Sweep it through. 4 more like this. And then we're going to hold it up there and just sweep those arms and legs. Or if you want to, you can just hold. If this is a bit much as well, option to just do the upper body. I'll show you on the next one. So if we need to, we can just stay down with the lower body. We can lift, we can sweep, down, down. I did that and I lost count, so let's do 2 more. Lift, sweep, through, and down. Last one. Lift, sweep, and down. I'll let you take a breather in between. Take a big breath. And switch this way ever so slightly. We're going to lift, and then we're just going to sweep. Wide, narrow. 20 seconds. Reach for those feet, squeeze the shoulder blades. As we extend the arms overhead, don't let the body drop. Keep it lifted. We have 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Take a rest. Take a little rock from side to side. And then we're going to come all the way into a sideline position. So, first one, both legs are extended. We're in a sideline position. You can be either up on the hand here or you can be down on the arm, whatever you prefer. Wherever we are, I want you to think about lifting in that bottom waist here and drawn in so we're connected to that core. And then this is all about mobility in the hips. So we're going to do our leg raises, leg lifts, and I don't want you to lift and crunch in to try and get it super high. It might look nice, but it's not what we're aiming for. It's all just in this hip here. So you can keep the hand there if you need to. You can have a little chip on it. Your leg will tell you where it wants to stop. We can maybe try and ease it a little further. But if your body crunches and moves and compromises that position, you know you've come a bit too far. If it rocks back as well. Use this front hand to support as much as you need to. As we lift and we lower, just nice and controlled. So you will feel a little bit of fatigue start because we've switched on those glutes and that kind of thing. But again, like I say, we want to think about mobility. Controlling it as we draw in at the belly. We exhale to lift, we inhale to lower. More seconds here, and then we're going to take it up into some leg circles. Keep it controlled. Seeing if we can just lift a little bit further, just a little touch. And 10 seconds. One more lift. Best one yet, control with the core. And down. Give it a little tap off if it needs one. And then you're going to bring your bottom leg to about 90 degrees, so you've got a bit more of an anchor down there. Top leg, you're going to start hovering just at hip height. You're going to draw the belly in. You need a little bit more core connection here. We're going to start those circles, so we're going to circle the leg around. And this one you will feel the glute a little bit more. As well, I want you to think about, just like we did before, turning the knee out ever so slightly. If it's dipped down, we tend to just switch off on all of these here. If it's lifted, then we start to connect to them. And we take it around. Again, we're not letting the body move with it. Trying to just isolate it to the leg. It doesn't have to be a huge circle, but again, each time you can warm up into it a little bit. Oh, it's about you, but I can really feel those glutes. Woo. Maybe we won't stay here too long. Let's see if we can increase that range at all. Draw the belly in, control it, zip up from that pelvic floor. We'll do one more big circle this way and then we'll change direction. Keep that knee turned out ever so slightly. Watch it on the way back. And then when we're at the bottom, we'll go around the other way. So bring it all the way around. Nice. 3 more big circles. Control it. Last two. And bring that leg down, bend it in, give it a little tap out. Lovely. In between sides, while we switch over, you're just going to come to seated for me. You can sit wherever's comfortable. If you want to sit legs wide, cross-legged, whatever you want to do. And we're just going to take some side bends here. Nice little bit of mobility again, nice easy one in between. So you're just going to pop one hand down. You're going to take a big stretch up and over as you take a nice big breath in. And then on your exhale, you're going to sweep forward, reaching around and through to the other side. And then again, we take a breath. And we exhale ourselves through. Each time, just see if we can get a little deeper into that stretch. Keeping that chest nice and open as we reach up and over. Maybe you set yourself a little challenge and try and get that elbow down onto the floor. We'll do 2 more each side. And then we'll get that leg on the other side, and then we'll get into some ab work. More ab work, yay! And last one here. And come up to center. Lovely. My hips with me, so we know what we're doing. Hold it onto that other side, starting with those leg lifts. So back into your side lying position, just set that position. Make sure those hips are stacked. We're drawing in at the belly and we're lifted in that waist. You're going to point the toe to lift. You're going to flex the foot to lower. Oh, you can feel this one already. Use that breath. See if we can maybe just lift that a little bit higher now. Remember, as we lift, we want to draw in just that a little bit more. Make sure that hip doesn't roll back. We've got 15 seconds here. Last 10. 2 more lifts. Really working into opening up in that hip. Last one. Best one yet. All the way up. Again, just give it a little tap out if it needs one. Get ready for those circles. Last little burn here. So that leg comes to your hip height. Remember, just keep it little. If it does feel like that fatigue's kicking in a bit, just keep the circle a little bit smaller. But we do want that little turnout, so we are using those muscles a little bit. And then we circle it around and all the way through. Controlling it with the core again. Oh, I don't know if I said bottom leg to 90. I didn't say that. Pop your bottom leg to 90 degrees. Don't forget that little back part of the circle. So as we come around, get that extra little kick back. 3 more this way and then we'll change direction. Draw in. I can really feel those glutes. 2 more. Keep that leg turned out. Can we increase that range anymore? And then 1 more time this way and then we'll change direction. Still last bit on the leg, we got this. All the way down. And then from the bottom, let's go around the other way. Still keeping that knee turned out, still drawn in. Exhale. After this one, 3 more circles. As big or as small as you want them to be. Control them. 2 more. And 1 more. All the way around and through. And bring that leg down. Woo! Give it a tap. Roll all the way onto the back for me. We'll stay on the back for our core bit, but let's just hug those knees in. Have a little moment here. If you want to, you can always circle the knees around as well, just in opposite directions. Ease those hips off. In this ab section, unless I fatigue, I'm probably not going to give you much break in between exercises, so you just take a little rest when you need to. I quite like to just go bam, bam, bam. So, I'm going to pop my legs into tabletop. I'm going to go into our dead bugs. Again, I'm going to give you the higher option, and then I'll give you the lower option afterwards. Today, we're going to do double arm. So, we extend both arms up and overhead, and we're going to take ourselves back to the very beginning, where we were melting those ribs down towards the hips. As we extend one leg away, we're going to draw both arms up and overhead, just like we did earlier. But now we can feel that extra core connection with that extended leg as we draw back in. Now, if that is too much, we're just going to stay single arm, and we're going to alternate opposite arm to leg, and draw in. Still challenging. So take a breath, exhale, keep it slow. And again, if those arms don't come all the way down, that's fine. As soon as you feel those ribs lift, you know you've come that a little bit too far or you've lost that control. We'll think about drawing in as we extend away. Your tummy's going to want to lift a little bit, but we think about doing the opposite and we draw it in. Shoulders away from ears. Take a breath in between. After this one, let's do 2 more each side. You get a little shake in your body as well. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That means that we're really accessing that deep core. It might mean that there's a little bit of a weakness there, but that's okay. That's why we're working it. One more each way. Big exhale for me. Melt those ribs down. Last one. Beautiful. From here, same but different. We're going to do the same thing but in our curl up position. So all that does is just increase the intensity in the abs a little bit. So we're going to extend one leg and we're going to draw up. In this curl up, we're thinking again about melting the ribs down to the hips. We're trying to lift just a little. So we've got the chest up off the mat. And the head's just sitting back in the hands. We're not pulling up here. It's just sitting back there, so it's nice and supported. But we're controlling everything from the core. Big exhale as we extend. Create that dish in the belly. 15 seconds here, and then we're going to come into some bicycles, kind of. Bicycles, but with a little variation. Ten more seconds. Keep it steady. Last 5. And draw in. So these bicycles, we're going to draw elbow, rather than draw an elbow to me like this, the elbow is going to draw as the leg extends. So it's the opposite to what we would normally do. And then we alternate. So we draw up, and then instead of reaching for that knee is then going to extend away. So it's opposite to what we normally do. A little bit of coordination for you as well. Same thing applies, we just want to add in that little extra work in the obliques. Keep it steady. Stay with me, team. Got a little bit to do here, and then we've got 2 left. We're nearly there. 15 seconds, and then we're going to come into a hold. Keep drawing in. Last 10. Next time we come up, we're going to extend, and we're going to hold it for 10. Last 5. Keep lifting. 2, 1. Come through. Take a big breath to the other side. Extend and hold for 10. 2 and 1. 2 exercises to go. For this one, staying with the obliques, this time our legs are going to extend up towards the sky. If that gets a bit much and we feel like we're struggling to keep them up there, just bend the knees. But we don't want them to creep in, we want them to be just slightly away. I'm just going to crunch up. Elbow reaches for the knees this time, and down. Aiming to access those upper abdominals. Oblique crunch, and down. Hang on to it. We've got this one and then one more. And then we'll have a little stretch. "20 seconds. Keep those legs long, or in tabletop if we need to. Last 10. 3, 2, 1. Relax it down. So, one final one to go. It's a little bit of a killer, but just take it slowly, and you just go to whatever level is right for you. So, we can stay in that curl, that's our higher option. Middle option is just to keep our arms by our sides, and then if we need to, we can add a little brace by popping our hands underneath our hips. Legs are going to start extending, so it's basically a leg raise. And what we're going to do is, we're going to lower one leg down just a little way, and then we step the other foot to meet it. We step that foot, the other one meets it. And then down, just to wherever you can, and then we come up, 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 up. Try and do it in 3 stages. I think 3 is pretty good. Draw in. We're trying to access those lower abdominals for this one. So we lower it down, and down, 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 scoop and hollow, lift, lift, lift. I always want to cheat and race on the way back up, but try not to. Take a breath at the top each time. We're going to stay here for about 30 seconds. Just move through. Yeah? If you need to, come down just to your leg raise. And then up. Yeah? Otherwise, got about 25 seconds to go. Keep it steady. Don't try and race up. Don't do what I do. 15 seconds, team. We got this. In fact, let's all do 2 more. Have a breather at the top. Let's do 1 more. Draw that belly in. And up. Nice work. And hug those knees in. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. Lovely work. Have a moment, have a breather, have a drink, and we'll stretch. We've earned a good stretch. What are we going to stretch? What have I got here? Oh yes, lovely. So when we're ready, we're just going to roll over onto our fronts. Stretch the hips off a little bit. So back to similar to what we did at the beginning, you're going to step one foot towards the hands. You're going to walk that foot away, and your foot's going to come to about a 45-degree angle. So you can angle that knee away from the body and stretch into that hip. Give it a little rock from side to side. Just have a little moment there. If it feels good, you can always come down onto the elbows. And then you're going to walk that foot towards the hands. You're going to come up into a low lunge position. You're going to tuck the tailbone, so we create a bit of length in the front of this leg, and then we're going to ease those hips forward, so we'll get that nice stretch in the hip flexor there. And then you're going to bring both hands down to the floor to frame that foot, and we're going to take the hips back as we lift the toes to stretch into the hamstring. And then bring it forward, and then onto the other side. Bring that foot forward, step the foot away, so we're bringing it to about 45 degrees, and then we're just going to open up at the hip, nice and wide. Again, maybe rock in and out of it. And then you're going to walk that foot in. You're going to come up into that low lunge position. You're going to tuck the tailbone and draw forward, stretching into that hip flexor. And bring those hands forward, framing that foot as we take the hips back and we lift the toes into our hamstring. And drawing forward out of that one, come into seated. Last few little stretches here. So we're going to come into butterfly to begin with. So our soles of our feet are soles of the feet are together. A couple of options here. We can use the elbows to just ease the knees down a little bit if we want to, or we can grab a hold of the feet and ease the chest down. Open to a combination of the two. I like to just do a single side while drawing my chest down. I don't mind you getting a nice rounding of the back here either in any of these positions coming up. Just helps to release that lower back a little bit as well. And slowly out of that one, we're going to extend Both legs out in front for those hamstrings again. Starting tall, but then we can reach forward for the feet and curve through. Trying to ease that chest down. If you need a little extra, or if you feel like you're getting a bend in the knee and you're not really getting anything out of it, I want you to try and straighten your legs, even if you need to lift the chest up a little bit. And you can always flex the feet so you can stretch into it that way as well. And then coming up if you need to, or if you want just this little challenge, you're going to keep the chest down as we open the legs nice and wide into our pancake. So legs are wide and you're just going to try and ease that chest down towards the floor. You can see this still. As far as we can. And we're going to breathe. Again, just feel that release in the lower back. And just slowly easing yourself back up. Give your legs a little shake off. Coming back to seated or kneeling or whatever you're comfortable with. We're just going to take a few breaths to finish. So we're just going to take a nice big breath in and reach up. And exhale. And again. And one final time for good measure. Exhale. And give yourself a clap.